What's going on, guys? This is an absolute impromptu video. For those of you guys who've been following my journey modifying and tracking my Tesla Model 3 Performance, the car is unchanged since last event. For those of you guys that are new, I'm going to put the mods list right there. I'm also going to link some of the previous videos down in the description. That way you guys can follow the whole journey. As you can see, the car looks almost stock. There is nothing special about it. It is not some heavily modified track car. It is quite literally a bone stock Tesla Model 3 Performance with, I don't know, 5 grand put into it. Now, I do have a track event 2 weeks from now, and that was the next video I was going to make. However, as you can see behind me here, I bought a Porsche yesterday. It is a 997 911 Turbo, and while I was doing some Googling for local Porsche stuff, trying to find parts because it needs a lot, I happened to run across a Porsche Club Autocross that is only 40 minutes away. Most of the track events we've been doing, I've been driving 4+ hours for, so when I saw something that was 40 minutes away, I couldn't say no. Especially considering when it's so close, we can just throw the sticky tires on and we don't have to worry about really eating them up on the 200-mile drive to the track. Good morning, guys. It is absolutely beautiful out. I have my full-blown Porsche fanboy sunglasses on this morning. They came with the new car, and I absolutely cannot wait to get that thing out here. But for today, we are in Captain Planet mode. Now, if you are unfamiliar with autocross, it is very different than being on a track. The 5-second summary of how you do this is get around this course full of cones in a parking lot as fast as possible, and if you tap a cone, knock it over, there are certain time deductions. Even when I was doing this regularly, I found this actually much harder than being on track. One, you can't memorize a track. It's different every time. You have pretty much an hour before the racing starts to walk the track and try to memorize it as best you can. Another big hurdle for me personally with autocross is you can get on a track with a 600 horsepower car, with a very fast car, and manage it, do okay, as long as you're careful, you don't put it off the track. It's not that hard. With this, you only have cones laying out your course, so it is much more brain power, I guess, required to actually take note of what you're doing, follow it around, and still try to be fast. Now, when you couple all that with a 600+ horsepower car, things come at you fast. My autocross trajectory went from S2000, C6 Z06, and now the Tesla. When I jumped to the Corvette, it was a whole different world, and there was a steep learning curve. I honestly don't think there's anybody on this planet that couldn't benefit from starting their autocross career in something like a Miata, because honestly, I wish I did, even though an S2000, I guess, close enough, right? But I'm gonna use the rest of my walking time to concentrate on the course instead of the camera. I will see you guys here shortly when we, get in grid. All right, we just hopped off the track from working and did our first run, and as per usual, I had to relearn the course all over again. I think being out of it for a little bit, I lost that little bit of a skill where you can walk the course in the morning, work for 4 hours, and then pick it back up blind and still do halfway decent. But we'll get it down, and hopefully we can put down a good time. All right, so run 1 was like a 49.5, something like that. Run 2, much better. I haven't seen the time yet. That'll upload here in a second, but I did what I used to do when I had trouble remembering the course. And in between runs 1 and 2, I would sit there and watch the run over and over and over. So we did it again, and needless to say, the course is much more familiar the second go around. All right, so we picked up a good bit of time. There's still some cues I'm missing on the course for sure. But we did a 46.8, which is a 1.5 seconds off the leader, who is very, very fast, who I have raced with before. I will take it for second run. We are 5 overall. Just another testament to how good this car is. I have less than 10 track days under my belt. I haven't autocrossed in 5 years, so that pretty much tells you everything you need to know about my skill level. This Model 3 just continues to impress and impress and impress. As per usual in these videos, I am not going to show you every run. I just showed you the second run because it was a halfway decent one. I will show you guys anything significant from the next ones and probably throw in the next fastest one, assuming we do get a faster one. Run 3, very easy lesson to learn and something that I have to learn over and over and over. You feel more confident, you know the course a little better, you get aggressive, and you're probably a little bit slower. So it turns out I'm not even experienced enough to assess my own driving properly, because here's where we sit right now. We're obviously going for it now. We have to see if we can do something here and try to come away with the number one. I don't even know what to say. Like, this car is just so good. So that whole thing I said last time about, you know, getting overconfident and really f***ing up, because that's the only way to put it, is I think I just ate like, I don't know, 3 cones. None of them were egregious. I'll stick it in the video if you can hear it. So that one, even if it was fast, which it wasn't, that one's gonna be killed by cones. I was a half a second slower and had 2 cone penalties. So needless to say, that one wasn't it. There were certain sections of that run where I picked up some confidence and came into the throttle much earlier, which was great. We would have picked up some time, but I didn't necessarily brake earlier on the incoming turns. So we kind of lost everything we picked up and then some. But 2 more runs. I'm gonna keep telling myself it doesn't matter if I pick up that extra 100th, but we all know it does, so. Well, I believe I fixed the cone issue that run. Didn't hear anything. I got close to some, but I think we're good on that. Again, too aggressive. I think we're gonna have one more run to make it count. To be honest, it really just shows the inexperience, because we needed to keep it very cool to pick up a 100th of a second. No cones, second slowest run of the day. So it proves exactly what I was just saying. We have one more chance. We're gonna keep it cool, make it count, and see what happens.
Logged into your brain, you feel like you're going too slow.
That's exactly what it is. Like, all right, that run wasn't fast. I can pick up another second, and it's just not happening, obviously.
Yeah. Well, you know the deal. Keep it tight.
Yep, we're gonna try.
Tight. All right, good luck.
If not, I'm getting you next time. Good news and bad news. We corrected some of the issues. I settled down a little bit as far as overdriving it and really pushing the car too hard. Unfortunately, about halfway through the run, I don't know if you can see it on video, I nicked the cone. It was a penalty. It wouldn't have mattered because I was 2/10 slower. We certainly recovered a good bit on that last run and really got back up there towards competing where we needed to be. So as you guys can imagine, having 3 runs left and needing to pick up 100th and not doing it, yeah, it's fairly disappointing. but I'm relearning some lessons that I had back in the day at autocross, and I think we will have something for him next time, and we will keep learning, keep building on this, and keep driving the shit out of this car this summer. This is the first event of many. We have more track events, we have more track crosses, we have more of these. So we have a driver's meeting to end the day. I'm gonna load the car back up, and I will get back with you guys when we get back over to the shop to wrap this video up. Well guys, I lied to you. We didn't make it back to the shop. I'm starving, and I don't get over this way much anymore. I couldn't resist the opportunity to hit Red Hot and Blue, one of my favorite barbecue places in Maryland. So if you've been following the Tesla series, I set out originally to answer, can this car go anywhere, any event with a mediocre-ish driver and compete? The answer is obviously yes. We've proven that over and over at this point. A couple notes. If you are unfamiliar with autocross, there is also something called PAX times. PAX times are essentially weighted times based on the type of car you drive, the modifications you have, what class you're in. That way somebody driving, say, a Focus ST can compare themselves to a car like this, and it's still a semi-fair way to kind of compete and see where you stack up against all the other drivers there, not just the people in your class. I have a lot of work to do in that. I think I finished somewhere 18, 20 in PAX, which out of 60, 70-ish cars, whatever it was, you know, not too bad, but certainly not up there towards the top of the pack like we are overall because of how good this car is. As for what's next with this car, I have a track event 2 weeks from now. It's going to be another instructed event. The last one helped me greatly. I have a feeling I'm going to learn a lot this time as well. I haven't really done much else in the way of modification to the car because I'm the limiting factor, not the car. However, during this autocross, it became very apparent that body roll is an issue and the suspension is too soft. I didn't notice it as much on the actual track, but when you're in a parking lot throwing the car around with this much weight, it's very apparent. So I think the next batch of mods is definitely going to include Mountain Pass Performance Coilovers. So maybe we'll be back with another track video. Maybe we'll be back with a coilover and other parts install video. Who knows? Otherwise, the ZR1 engine is almost back. The 997 turbo build is literally just starting. We don't even know what's wrong with it yet. We have to tear that thing apart. We have a ton of crazy salvage cars that just came in. I'm going to be doing tons of videos on those. It is R8 race season, so I'm sure you see where I'm going with this. We have a lot of cool stuff coming up. So if you liked it, make sure you share, subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. And of course, I will see you guys next time.